I caught my girlfriend cheating. So I set her up. It started with something small. A missed call. A delayed text. A vibe I couldn't explain. We had been together for almost 2 years. Kate was everything I ever wanted: funny, smart, incredibly beautiful. But lately, something had changed. She wasn't the same. Less affection, more distractions. I told myself it was work. Stress. Life. But a part of me deep down knew something was off. One night, I saw a name on her phone I didn't recognize. Mark Hammeran Wrench. The wrench emoji caught my attention. It was subtle, but weird. I wasn't snooping. She left her phone on the table while she showered, and it lit up. A message preview popped up. Last night was crazy, smirking face, can't stop thinking about you. I froze. My chest tightened. My brain started running 1,000 miles a minute. When she came back into the room, I acted normal. Said nothing. But from that moment, everything changed. I needed to know the truth. For the next few days, I watched closely. She was definitely hiding something, locking her phone, taking walks, even going outside to answer calls. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I planned a loyalty test. I had a friend, Jason, who used to do social experiments for his YouTube channel. He helped me set up a scenario. One of his friends, a good-looking guy named Ryan, would message her on Instagram. Just casual flirting at first, to see if she'd bite. She did. Within hours, she replied. A few compliments. Then a laugh. Then heart emojis. Within 2 days, they were talking like they'd known each other forever. She told him she had a boyfriend but said things were complicated. That hurt more than I expected. Ryan suggested they meet for a drink, just friends. She agreed. That's when we set up the camera crew. She had no idea she was walking into a setup. We rented out a small lounge, had hidden cameras placed everywhere. I was in the back room, watching everything live on a monitor, heart pounding in my chest. She showed up. Hair done. Makeup perfect. She looked amazing, and she wasn't dressed like someone meeting a friend. She was dressed like someone on a date. Ryan greeted her, and they sat down. The conversation started light. Flirty. She laughed at every joke. She touched his arm. At one point, she leaned in and whispered something I couldn't hear, but Ryan looked shocked. Then came the moment. Ryan asked, "So what would your boyfriend think if he saw this?" She paused. Smiled. And said, "He doesn't need to know. What he doesn't know won't hurt him." I felt my stomach drop. Everything stopped. I couldn't breathe. That's when I walked out. She saw me immediately. Her face went pale. Her jaw literally dropped. She stood up and stammered, wait, I can explain." I said nothing. She tried to grab my hand. "It's not what it looks like. I was just joking." I looked her straight in the eye and said, "I saw everything. Every message. Every word. You made your choice." She broke down crying. Right there in front of everyone. Said she felt neglected, said I was always busy. That we'd grown apart. And maybe that was true, but cheating was still a choice. I walked out. Left her there. And I haven't spoken to her since. But that's not the end of the story. A week later, Ryan told me she messaged him again. Even after everything. She told him she missed him, and asked if he still wanted to hang out. That's when it hit me, this wasn't just a one-time mistake. This was who she was. I'll be honest, it messed me up for a while. Trust isn't something you rebuild overnight. But looking back, I'm grateful I found out when I did. Some truths hurt, but they're better than living a lie. So if you're watching this, and your gut is telling you something's wrong, don't ignore it. People say love is blind, but But sometimes, it's your gut that sees what your heart refuses to. I'm not here to tell you to spy on your partner. But I am saying, pay attention. You deserve honesty. You deserve someone who chooses you even when no one's watching. And if you're the one cheating, just leave. Don't play with someone's heart like it's a game. Because eventually, the truth always comes out. Always. She said she was at her mom's. But I followed her. She told me she was going to spend the weekend at her mom's. That was normal, she did it once or twice a month. They were close. I didn't question it. But this time, something felt different. It started with the way she packed. She usually threw a few things into her bag last minute, wore a hoodie, no makeup. But this time, she took her time. Did her hair. Full face of makeup. Wore perfume. And the dress she picked, it wasn't something you wear to sit on a couch with your mom. Still, I said nothing. But the entire day, something just didn't sit right. She texted me once, said she got there safe. But no selfies with her mom, no funny updates like she usually sent. Radio silence. So I called. No answer. Tried again an hour later. Straight to voicemail. At this point, my gut was screaming. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I got in my car and drove. Her mom lived about 40 minutes away. But I didn't go to her mom's. I went to the one place I hoped I was wrong about, her ex's apartment. I hadn't seen the guy in over a year. But I remembered where he lived. And I remembered how she used to talk about him like there was always unfinished business. I parked across the street. Lights were on. Music was playing. And then, I saw it, her car. Parked outside his building. My heart sank. For 20 minutes, I sat there trying to convince myself I was wrong. That maybe she just dropped something off. Maybe they were just talking. But then I saw them. Through the window. On the couch. Her in his arms. Laughing. Drinking. Kissing. I don't even remember how long I sat there. Just watching. And then I made the dumbest decision of my life. I knocked on the door. She opened it, and when she saw me, her soul left her body. She just stood there. Speechless. Her ex stood behind her, confused, holding 2 glasses of wine. Mom's house, huh? I said. She started crying. Said it wasn't what it looked like. That she didn't plan for this to happen. That she was confused. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just said, I hope it was worth it. And I walked away. She tried calling me the next day. Sent a long message about how she'd made a mistake and didn't want to lose me. She even admitted that she and her ex had been talking again for weeks, and that she'd been torn between 2 people. Torn? She chose. I didn't respond. A few months later, a mutual friend told me she and her ex had broken up. Apparently, he cheated on her too. Karma's fast when it wants to be. You know what the worst part was? Not the betrayal. Not even the lies. It was how normal things felt the day she left. She kissed me goodbye, told me she loved me, and still went straight into someone else's arms. That's what haunts me. After that, I promised myself something. If I ever feel like I have to check where someone is, or follow them, or doubt every word, they're not the one for me. Love shouldn't feel like detective work. Since then, I've rebuilt. Took time for myself. Met someone new. Someone who tells the truth even when it's uncomfortable. Someone who makes me feel safe, not suspicious. So yeah. I got cheated on. But I also got free. I checked her AirPods location. That's how I found out. It all started with a pair of AirPods. Not even mine, hers. She left them at my apartment one night, and for some reason, they were still connected to her iCloud. I didn't think anything of it. I wasn't snooping. I didn't have a reason to. At least, not yet. We'd been dating for just over a year. Chloe was smart, confident, and seemed like the most loyal person I'd ever met. She didn't go out much, never acted sketchy, and always made me feel secure. Until one Saturday night. She told me she was going to a girls' night, dinner and a movie. Standard stuff. I said cool, have fun. She kissed me goodbye and left around 6 p.m. At 6:47, I got a weird feeling. I don't know why. Just gut instinct. Something in the way she walked out. Too fast. Too eager. Too perfect. That's when I remembered the AirPods. They were on my nightstand. I opened the Find My app, mostly out of curiosity, and boom. There it was. Her AirPods were moving across town. Not toward the restaurant she said she was going to. Not toward any movie theater. They were headed to an apartment building. One I didn't recognize. I stared at the dot for a good 5 minutes. Maybe they were just being weird? Glitchy? Could be. But they stopped moving. Stayed there. 4 hours. At this point, it's past 9 p.m. I send her a message. Hey, how's the movie? She replies instantly. Still watching. I'll call you after Red Heart. And that's when I knew. I didn't say anything. Didn't confront her. I just waited. When she came over the next day, she acted totally normal. Hugged me, told me she missed me, laughed at some joke I made. But I couldn't fake it. I kept thinking about that map. That little blinking dot. So I tested something. I casually brought up the movie she claimed to have seen. I said my coworker had seen it too and hated it. Without hesitation, she said, "Oh really?" I thought it was amazing. Then I asked, "What was your favorite scene?" She paused. Said, I can't choose. It was just all really good. That confirmed everything. I decided to dig deeper. I found the address her AirPods had stopped at the night before. Looked it up. It belonged to a guy named Matt. Didn't ring a bell until I remembered her mentioning a friend from college with that name once. Total dork, she'd said. We barely talk. Apparently, they talked enough for her to spend the night at his place. So I waited one more week. Played nice. Didn't say a word. Just waited for her to go out again. And she did. Friday night, happy hour with coworkers. Sure. This time, I put the AirPods in her bag before she left. She didn't notice. Within an hour, the dot landed at the same building. Same apartment. This time, I drove there. Sat in my car for 30 minutes watching people go in and out. I wasn't 100% sure what I was going to do until I saw her. Walking out of the building. With him. Laughing. Holding his arm. They didn't even try to hide it. I got out of the car and said, "Hey Chloe." Her face, pure shock. She stammered, "What are you doing here?" I held up her AirPods and said, "You forgot these." Again. Matt stood there awkwardly, trying to figure out if I was her brother, friend, or what. I looked at him and said, "You must be the dorky college friend. Nice to meet you." Then I turned to her and said, "You could have just told me. You didn't have to lie." She didn't say anything. Just looked down. Like a kid who got caught stealing candy. I walked away. She texted me later saying it was a mistake, that she didn't plan for it to happen, that she was confused and needed space to figure out what she really wanted. But I already knew. She wanted to lie. That's what hurt the most. Not the fact that she slept with someone else. Not even that she tried to hide it. It was the effort she put into making me feel crazy for doubting her. The fake messages. The fake stories. The fake smiles. She had it all planned. I blocked her. Haven't seen her since. Looking back, I'm glad it happened that way. If it weren't for those AirPods, maybe I never would have known. Maybe I'd still be wasting time, trusting someone who didn't deserve it. So yeah, I got cheated on. But I also got smarter. Next time? I won't need tracking apps. I'll just listen to my gut. Because it's never wrong.